Welcome back. We've been talking about adult literacy, and my guests are Faye Parker and Meg Nugent, who are both with the Nashville Adult Literacy Council. And we were just talking, Faye, the fact that you're a volunteer, you help so many of those folks who have been dying to learn how to read. You have been doing this, what did you tell me?
2 years.
2 years.
2 years next
week. 2
week.
years. And there's so many more folks out there who want to learn to read. But unfortunately, Meg, there's a waiting list. And why is that?
There's just never enough tutors. We're always looking for volunteer tutors.
Yeah.
And as soon as we train volunteer tutors every month, and as soon as we do that, we keep getting more learners.
Wow.
So there's just never enough volunteers.
What is expected of a volunteer? What types of things and commitments do we have with folks like Faye?
Well, we ask for, first of all, a 6-month commitment.
Okay.
And we're asking for 2 to 3 hours a week.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean you can never go on a vacation or get sick or anything like that, because it's not constant. And then we ask for, obviously, you have to know how to read yourself.
Yes.
And be willing to help someone. And it is rewarding. Most of our tutors think they tell us that they get more out of it than their learners do, but we think it's a two-way street there.
Yeah. Absolutely. So where do you meet? Do you go to them? Do they come to you? Do you meet in the middle?
Any public place, a library, community center, the office on Park in West Nashville, and they have an Antioch office also. You just agree on a mutually pleasing place. And
a schedule.
Yeah.
Because we match people on location and schedule preference.
So I'm curious, so how do you sort of evaluate these folks? If you come in and say, I got to the 3rd grade and that's about as far as I go, do you go through an evaluation process to see where you need to start them?
Oh, that's really important. But we do an enrollment with them where we do a standardized assessment to see what book to start them in, because we have to know where to start them. And just because someone says that they went to 6th grade, it doesn't mean that they're reading on a 6th grade.
That's very true.
We need to see what gaps are there, and all of it is very easy process that is not intimidating at all.
Yeah.
So I want to say that if there's people out there that might need the help of our program, it's not a scary process.
So the first step is just walking into your door.
And yes, that's the scariest part for our learners, but then also, we're finding out other personal information about them so that we can help them with things that they want to accomplish in their lives, because every person has, individual goals. And, if they work in a hospital, we're going to teach them hospital words. If they work in a restaurant, restaurant words.
Oh,
so we find out what their jobs are, what their ambitions are, and go from there.
Do they ever talk to you, Faye, about always, perhaps saying what some of those goals are, and then once they get there?
Definitely. Most of them would like to get their GED.
Okay.
And that is beyond what I can do, but I can help them learn to read so that they'll be able to read the GED materials to get into that class and do that. Most of them would like to be able to advance at work, so we teach things that is pertinent to whatever job they may be doing to help them to do that. They're tested about every 6 months for their word recognition, and one of my learners started at 5th grade, and in just a little over a year he was at 7.2 grade word recognition. And he read his first book from cover to cover this winter. I gave him a book because I took off a couple of months. It was really cold and dark out, and he said that's the first time I've ever read a book. It was so good. So like I said, it's very rewarding for me.
I was going to say, well, the fact that we do want to encourage more folks out there to volunteer for an organization like this, when you've got people lined up wanting to read, but there's not enough volunteers, that is sad.
It is.
To me. When you retired, you told me you retired on a Friday and you started volunteering with the Nashville on Monday.
I had planned that ahead of time. I took my orientation before I actually retired, so I needed to do something with all that spare time.
So would you recommend this to retirees
Oh,
or just
it's
anybody?
wonderful. And really, you know, anybody can come up with 2 or 3 hours a week. And actually, a lot of companies will allow their employees to volunteer and actually pay them for that. So they could use an hour of their lunch break 3 times a week and help someone learn to read. There's a lot of ways you can work it into your schedule if you really want to.
If you really want to, absolutely.
Yes.
So Meg, what does someone need to do if they want to volunteer?
I would say the easiest thing to do is to go to our website, which is www.nashvilleliteracy.org, and that has all the training dates. Get on our potential tutor list, and we'll send you out invitations every time we do training.
Great.
And finally, when you can come, and we'll show you how to do it.
Wonderful. Well, you're doing great work. Thank you so much, Faye. And
Thank you.
Meg, thank you so much for coming on and tell us all about it. I would also like to thank my earlier guests, Sunny Rosenbaum and Sandra Zakari from Tucker's House. And thank you for watching. I'm Tawanda Coleman. I'll see you next time right here on the Plus Side of Nashville.